Hi, my name is Ashley Chan. I've been climbing for a little over a year, and today I'll be teaching you how to climb and belay safely. This video is meant for beginners, so these are just the basics. I'd also like to open up with a warning. Climbing is a dangerous sport that could cause potential harm or even death. If you don't know what you're doing or don't feel comfortable with the skill, then ask a certified belay instructor to teach you and help you get started. Here's what you'll need. You'll need a harness, a locking carabiner, a belay device, some shoes, although you can climb in most closed-toed shoes, and a friend to belay you. But wait, there are a few things you'll need to do before you start climbing. Step 1 is warming up. Stretch your fingers and wrists by pulling your fingers and wrists forwards and backwards for about 30 seconds. Do grasping finger stretches to warm up your tendons. Do about 10 of these at each position. Warming up is helpful so that you don't strain any muscles that you don't normally activate. Shoulders are one of the most frequently injured areas, so be sure to stretch them, but if you're feeling any discomfort, don't stretch any further. Next, stretch the legs by holding these positions for 15 to 30 seconds. And then the ones that come to you, drive them away. And bouldering is always a really great way to warm up the entire body as well. If you're physically able, do these wall stretches to help open up your shoulders and your hips. Now that you're all warmed up, we can move to step 2, getting dressed. Put your harness on and your shoes, and your hair up if it's long. Step 3 is to perform safety double checks. Verbally check to see if both you and your partners have your gear on correctly. This includes ensuring that the harness is snugly on the waist and that the harness buckles are double backed. There are 2 roles in climbing, the climber who's going up and the belayer who's on the ground. Each role has their own individual safety checks to go through before they can start climbing. We'll get to those as they come. Here are the instructions for the climber. Step 4 is tying the figure 8 knot, so you grab a length of rope from the end of your hand to the middle of your chest. Then pinch the rope. This is called the bite. You'll wrap your rope around the bite and then put the end of your rope through the center hole that you've created. This is the figure 8 knot. A helpful mnemonic to learn this process is to first make a snowman's head, then wrap a scarf around him and give him a carrot nose through the center of his head. Now step 5 is attaching yourself into the system by passing the end of the rope through the 2 loops in your harness, first through the bottom and then through the top. With a knot about a handful of rope away from the harness, use the end of the rope and follow the previous knot all the way through. Start by entering through the bottom and wrap around the top, go around and then through the knot until the end of your rope is out through the top, keeping the ropes side by side. And here's what that looks like from another angle. Make sure that the rope you're feeding in now is parallel to the figure 8 that you made earlier. Where one rope goes under, the second rope should follow, and where one rope goes on top, the other rope should follow as well. You can also make a cleaner knot by making sure that you always either stay on the inside of the rope or the outside of the rope. This is what you wanted all along now, isn't it? Step 6 is to do safety checks for the climber. This is imperative because your life depends on this knot. These include ensuring that there's 1 handful of rope between you and your knot, about 2 handfuls of rope at the top of your knot, and then making sure that there are 5 pairs of parallel rope, 10 strands in the knot. Now, step 7 are the belayer instructions. So first, take a bite of rope, like we did before, and put it in through the belay device with the loose end of the rope facing towards the sharp pointy end of the belay device. This creates more friction so that it's easier to stop a person when they're falling. Next, you're going to pass the carabiner through the rope and the belay device, and then through your belay loop on the harness. And then you're going to lock the carabiner. Step 8 is to go through the safety check for the belayers, so check to make sure that the gate on the locking carabiner is locked. You can do this by tapping on the gate and making sure that it doesn't open up. Then make sure that the carabiner passes through both the bight of rope and the belay device, and that the brake strand, which is this loose end, is facing out. Step 9 is taking slack out of the system. There's an acronym to remember how to do this, and it's called PBUS. That stands for pull, brake, under, slide. So first you pull up on the brake strand, then you brake by bringing the brake strand back down, then you bring your non-dominant hand under your dominant hand, and then you slide your dominant hand back up the brake strand, and then repeat until a comfortable amount of tension is reached. Using this system means that you'll always have a hand on the brake. For lowering, you'll also always want 2 hands on the brake strand. And that's it. Thanks for watching the basics of how to climb and belay. If you practice these skills, you'll be able to safely ascend any rock walls in most indoor gyms. And remember, climb on!